confirmed Tesla Model Y will not be refreshed this coming year to the US. But does that leave the door open to Australia? This was a question that came up a lot at Everything Electric. Model 3 Highland, which we've been talking about a lot on this channel. It was good to see it in person for the first time. But a lot of people, they were looking over and they're going, oh, when's there going to be a refresh for the Model Y? Should I wait or should I get one now? I think it was important for Tesla to mention that there won't be a refresh this year. I still think some people are going to hold out for it anyway. Tesla has confirmed there won't be a Model Y refresh in North America this year. Upgrades, including a quieter cabin and improved ride, are already available in China. So there are some small upgrades that are available in China. Also, the features like ambient lighting and hardware 4 have been introduced to China's Model Y. So I don't know, is that going to come to America or not? Potentially not if they're made in America. It makes sense in the China factory. If they're already producing Highland, that they may want to be producing Model Ys with the same features. So the Australian Model Ys are a lot more likely to have hardware 4 and ambient lighting, but we don't know yet. Less likely in America. Tesla aims to sell about 1.2 million Model Ys in 2024, retaining its best-selling car title.
Because I have a story. I was contacted by a Tesla person trying to sell me a new Tesla, trying to convince me. Yes. So this guy calls me and says, very interesting. So he goes and he says, oh, hey, hello, my name is X, Y, and Z, and I know that you had your Tesla for 2 years. And I know that you have a second Tesla, Model 3. Do you know that there's a new refresh? And I was like, yeah, I know. Like, oh, would you consider? And I'm just listening to him. And I already knew the answer, but I wanted to be polite.
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing that I said is, no, I'm not interested because I consider it a downgrade. And that really irked him. He did not care for that comment.
Yeah.
And he just, he literally said like, would you care to elaborate about that? His voice shifted. And I was like, look, mate, no, I'm not going to have an argument with you, but I have a very small garage. And for me, the parking sensors are really, really, really important. And I know that the cameras are not going to cut it. For me, that's a really big one. I said, well, some people may consider that a downgrade, but some people may consider, just investing in a new future. And I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever. Like, is there anything else that you consider a downgrade? So this person was already engaging me in a kind of an argument, which was very, very strange to me, because he was there to try to sell me a car. Now he was trying to convince me that I was wrong. A person that has 2 of these cars and that obviously has information. So at that point, I go like, oh, well, the stock is a big one for me. I'm sorry, but I've already, I have thoughts about that. And he goes like, well, I can see how that would be challenging to some people. I'm like, I do not appreciate your tone. Like, how could that be challenging? Like putting me down.
Yeah.
So again, it was very friendly, but it had a little bit of a tint of, I don't know. And then he just said like, well, I can see how all of these changes may be new to some people, and that would, and they would be maybe a little bit too much. But I wouldn't consider them a downgrade. And the only thing that I said is, look, I know that you're doing your job, but they are a downgrade. They have things, and you remove those things. That's the definition of a downgrade. And he literally hung up on me.
Wow. Okay.
And I look, I didn't get like confrontational or anything. I just thought it was, I wasn't even angry or anything. I was perfectly calm, but I thought it was very strange to see this person, first of all, calling me to sell me a car, and second of all, being so defensive about it. Like, most people, you would just go and say, yeah, well, whatever. Yeah, you don't want, but fine. Yeah. Just give us a call whenever you can. But he was ready to die on that hill.
Yeah, interesting. Because I think there's a lot of people that are like that are very much passionate about the brand, and they tend to overlook those sorts of things.
I've never heard of Tesla contacting people to sell them cars. This is the very first time that I've heard this.
That is quite interesting, yeah.
And so regardless of my interaction with this person, which I just thought it was funny, just the fact that they contacted me to say, hey, maybe you're ready to refresh, maybe we can take your car. Why don't you work with us? Like, it felt really old school car salesman kind of tactic, which I never thought that Tesla would ever do, which sort of fits into this tweet and into this new Model Ys. Do you think that they have a little bit more inventory than we give them credit for?
It does seem like they are selling higher land, like the new Model 3 is doing okay. And I think that as we kind of see those figures coming out, it would be good to know, like, are they going to, now that the refresh is out and people are finding more about it, are people buying the new Model 3? Or are still people buying the Atto 3 and are they buying BYD? So that's going to be interesting.
They are calling people to sell it, which is something that they didn't do before. That's...
So it's an interesting sign, right? Like, are they kind of desperate in a way? Like they didn't need to do that before. They're now doing that. So like, what's going on there?
I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting...
Has Tesla made a mistake here? And are more people being turned off because of these things? Or is it some people? And as the sales figures come out in Australia and also other places that Highland is sold, we're going to see, is that the case or not?
Very well.
Stay tuned. We'll definitely keep updated on that. If you want to get our update video on that, be subscribed and also comment. Like, do you like Highland? Do you do you have one? Do you own it? Do you love it? Do you hate those new features and the things they've taken out?
Do you want a Highland? If you have a regular Model 3, do you want a Highland like me that I do not want one?
I really want to hear from you. So please jump in the comments. Thanks for watching.
Nice chat.